The Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shildt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
We are live inside our San Diego studios. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Hey, player, the Jamul Casino Resort is your place with the Lux Hotel Tower opening soon, new dining, and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Final score in Colorado on this Sunday, the Rockies 9 and the Padres 3, as the Padres cannot sweep the Rockies at Coors Field. Padres dropped to 25-14 on the season. Rockies improved to 7-33. A lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit. We'll recap this game from start to finish, our daily awards, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and much, much more to come as the Padres go 6-3 on this 9-game road trip to Pittsburgh, New York, and Colorado. They sweep the Pirates, lose 2 out of 3 in New York, and win 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. It is the Padres' first loss to the Rockies this season. Padres had won the first 5 meetings against Colorado, outscoring them 50-9. And some quick thoughts for you. We talked about in our keys to today's game. We made it really simple. Key number 1 was the Padres scoring just like they had the first 2 days. Not that you had to put up 21 runs in the final game of this series, but keeping the offense cooking. And key number 2 was don't let the Rockies offense wake up. And unfortunately, both those keys really didn't come to fruition in this series finale. Nick Pivetta, he struggled today. 4 innings, 6 earned runs given up. We talked in the pregame about, for as good as Nick has been, Coors Field has been a very troublesome place for Nick Pivetta, and it was again that way today. 4 innings, 6 runs given up on 7 hits, 81 pitches for Pivetta. Hunter Goodman had a huge game for the Rockies. He was a single shy of the cycle, and in the first 3 innings, Goodman had a 3-run home run and a 2-run triple, as the Rockies had a 3-run first inning and then a 3-run third inning against Nick Pivetta. And that really put the Padres behind by quite a bit. They never could recover today. Padres offense manufacturing a run early in the first inning, but then you got to tip your cap to what German Marquez did today. Marquez, who traditionally has been very good against the Padres and was not in the midst of a good season at all, an ERA close to 10 coming in, but credit where credit's due, gave up the early run in the first inning and then ends up going 7 really strong innings, giving up just the 1 early run. At one point in this game, Marquez had retired 17 in a row. So the Padres fell behind early. Offense was not nearly as dynamic as it was in the opening 2 games of this series, and that was essentially the recipe for a 9-3 loss against the Rockies on this Sunday. Would you have loved to sweep the Rockies? Yes. Does it feel great to lose to a team that came in 6-33, by far and away the worst record in baseball? Doesn't feel great to lose to them. With that said, am I going to go crazy here today that the Padres couldn't pull off a sweep? No, the other team's trying to. That is a Major League Baseball team on the other side, no matter what the record says. And the reality is a 7-2 trip would have been excellent. I don't think you can complain about a 6-3 road trip. Padres came into today by percentage points, the best record in baseball. So not going to go crazy about it today. You would have loved the sweep, but unfortunately, Padres fell behind. Nick Pivetta struggling again at Coors Field. The offense wasn't really doing what it did in the first 2 games of this series. And look, a long road trip comes to an end. 6-3 trip. You come home, you face the Angels tomorrow, and hopefully the Padres can get some home cooking going tomorrow and get back on track. When we come back, we'll recap this one in its entirety. We'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit as well. Final score on this Sunday in Colorado, Rockies 9 and the Padres 3. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues after this. Tony. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue to break down this 9-3 defeat for the Padres against the Colorado Rockies, who did snap an 8-game winning streak today to improve to 7-33 on the year. But we do have breaking news from Colorado. This coming down within the last 3-4 minutes. The Rockies have relieved Bud Black, former Padres manager, of his duties as manager. So the Rockies have fired Bud Black right after today's game. And current third base coach Warren Schaefler has been named the interim manager through the end of the 2025 season. So big news in Denver that we pass along here. Bud Black has been fired from the Colorado Rockies. He had been the Rockies manager since 2017. Obviously, Bud, longtime manager of the Padres before that, and Bud Black has been let go by the Colorado Rockies, a team that, again, improved to just 7-33 on the season. Worst record in Major League Baseball. And, that's the big news now of the afternoon after this game. Even though they won today, the Rockies, not enough to save Bud Black, as he's been fired by the Rockies. And look, we had that caller. It was either yesterday or Friday. I can't remember which day. We had a post-game caller talking about, Bud Black and kind of wondering what his future would be in Colorado. And I'll echo what I said then. And look, I'm not going to pretend to know Bud Black very well. I've attended a press conference or two before games at Petco Park. Obviously, I was not here when Bud was manager of the Padres, but have heard from many other media members, about Bud, and they really do sing his praises as far as the quality of guy he was, and to the media. And I've heard really good things about Bud Black, but I'm not going to pretend to know him extremely well. Look, the problems for the Rockies obviously go well beyond Bud Black. They've not been good for a very long time. When you're sitting at 7-33 through 40 games, it's not going to be on the manager. But look, it's a team that struggled. It's a team that is really struggling this season. And is anybody out there surprised to see the news? I don't think so. Kind of based on what's been going on in Colorado. So look, you feel for Bud Black, because I don't think the record is his fault. But sometimes in pro sports and in baseball, somebody's got to, quote unquote, take the fall. And today that is Bud Black, who has been fired from the Colorado Rockies. So that is the big news before we even recap today's game, as the Rockies do win this game 9-3. So final game that Bud Black manages in Colorado. The Rockies do pick up a win to snap an 8-game losing skid. All right, back to the baseball, back to the game that happened at Coors Field on this Sunday. Let's recap it from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Padres manufactured a run in the top of the first inning against German Marquez. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a leadoff single. He went to second on a wild pitch, to third base on a ground out. Manny Machado hit an RBI ground out to make it 1-0. But the lead was very short-lived for San Diego in the bottom half of the first inning. Nick Pivetta took the mound. He gave up a leadoff single, then hit a batter with 2 on and 1 out. Hunter Goodman dug in.
DHing today, swings at the first pitch, hammers it deep to left field on a line, and this one gonna go. 3-run homer for Hunter Goodman, his 6th of the year. And the Rockies go in front for the first time this weekend. It's 3-1.
So a 3-1 lead early for Colorado. There was more trouble for Pivetta in the third. A leadoff single, a walk. There were 2 on base once again for Hunter Goodman.
And on the weekend, it's this one on a line to left field. Hayward over towards the line, dives, can't make the catch, and it bounces and rolls behind him. Beck has scored. McMahon is on his way. The throw comes into third base. Machado's tag, not in time. 2-run triple for Hunter Goodman, who's halfway to a cycle. And a 5-1 Rocky lead here in the third.
Mickey Moniak hit a one-out RBI single to score Goodman. The Rockies had a 6-1 lead, a couple of three-run innings in the first 3 innings of this game. Nick Pivetta went on to pitch just 4 innings in this one, 81 pitches. He gave up 6 earned runs. German Marquez started for Colorado again, and after giving up a run in the top of the first inning, Marquez, credit where credit's due, he really settled in. From a 2-out single from Gavin Sheets in the first inning to a 1-out single from Sheets in the top of the 7th, Marquez retired 17 in a row as the Rockies continued to have a 6-1 lead. Padres threatened in the top of the 7th. They loaded the bases against Marquez, but Jason Hayward grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. The Rockies got to Wandy Peralta in the bottom of the 7th inning, a couple of hits, a sac fly, an RBI double for Mickey Moniak, and the Rockies added 2 more. It was 8-1. Padres did make some noise in the top of the 8th inning against the Rockies bullpen. Elias Diaz hit a leadoff single. Tyler Wade reached on a throwing error and went to second as Diaz went to third. There were runners on second and third with nobody out. Fernando Tatis Jr. drove in a run with a ground out to make it 8-2. There were 2 outs and a runner still in scoring position for Manny Machado.
And the pitch to Machado, lined into right field. That's a base hit. Wade is rounding third on his way. He'll come in to score. Moniak's throw goes into second base. An RBI single for Machado, and it's 8-3 here in the 8th.
So an 8-3 game going to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Sean Reynolds came on after what was a pretty tough 2025 debut earlier in the series. He got the first 2 outs at the bottom of the 8th inning on a couple of strikeouts, but then Sean Reynolds gave up a solo home run to Ryan McMahon. That made the score 9-3. The Padres went down 1-2-3 against Seth Halverson in the top of the 9th inning, and that was that here today. Final score, Rockies 9 and the Padres 3. Final totals for the Rockies, 9 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. For the Padres, 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Padres dropped to 25-14 on the year. Rockies improved to 7-33. They snap an 8-game losing skid. Nick Pivetta takes the loss. He's 5-2 now. German Marquez picks up his first win of the year. He improves to 1-6. And again, as we said at the beginning of this segment, after today's game, the Rockies have fired their longtime manager, Bud Black. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We also have our catch of the game, relief pitcher of the game, play in the game, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, much more to do on this Sunday. If you want to get a phone call in, you can at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to dial. Final score in Colorado, Rockies 9, Padres 3 on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as the Padres fall 9-3 to the Colorado Rockies on this Sunday. A very happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there on what has been a very, very nice Mother's Day here in San Diego. Again, a very happy Mother's Day to my mom, Susan, tuned in. I don't know if she's tuned in right now. She was tuned in earlier from New York, but happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, of course. Tough one for the Padres today. Nick Pivetta going just 4 innings in this game, 6 earned runs given up, 7 hits allowed, including a home run allowed to Hunter Goodman, who had a big day. It was a single shy of the cycle, had a home run, a 2-run triple, had 5 RBIs in this game as the Rockies snap an 8-game skid, and they improved to 7-33. Padres drop to 25-14. We will hear from Mike Shildt coming up in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's hear today's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
And the 2-1 to McMahon, hit in the air to right field. That'll chase Fernando back in front of the wall. Leaps up, makes the catch, crashes into the fence, and now sends it into second base. What a play by Tatis in deep right.
That was our catch of the game. Really nice play by Fernando in right field in the first inning. Now, the next batter, Goodman, would hit a 3-run home run, but Fernando making a really nice play to take an extra base hit away from Ryan McMahon in that bottom half of the first inning. For the moment, kept the game, or I should say, kept the Padres ahead 1-0 in that first inning. Unfortunately, then it would be Goodman to hit the 3-run home run, but nice defensive play by Fernando in the first inning, our catch of today's game. Bullpen for the Padres today was up and down. Let's tell you about our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Let's start with the good of the Padres bullpen today. After Pivetta went just 4 innings, Yuki Matsui threw a 1-2-3 fifth inning. Alec Jacob, a pretty quick and easy 6th inning. Then Wandy Peralta, he struggled once again in the 7th. Sean Reynolds gave up the home run to McMahon in the 8th. So we'll give it to either Matsui or Jacob. Why not Yuki Matsui, lone guy out of the bullpen today to put together a 1-2-3 frame. Matsui struck out 2 in that bottom half of the 5th inning to keep the game 6-1 at that point. So Yuki Matsui, our relief pitcher of the game. Do you want to touch on Wandy Peralta? Because this has been a rough stretch for Wandy, going back to that outing against the Yankees in New York a handful of days ago at this point. You know, Wandy entering that outing in New York had been really good. He had a 1.35 ERA on the season heading into that outing in New York. But the last 3 have been really, really tough. He had the 2/3 of an inning against the Yankees. He was charged with 6 earned runs on 4 hits. He walked 2. Then the outing earlier in this series on Friday in Colorado gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits. He got 1 out. And then today gave up 2 more earned runs on 3 hits in a single inning. So his last 3 appearances now, 2 innings total, 10 earned runs given up on 11 hits, and he's walked 3 as well. It's been a rough few days for Wandy. I'll tell you what, I was very encouraged by what he did in the early part of this season. He felt like he had found it again after what was very up and down first season with the Padres, but the last few have been kind of rough for Wandy. So we'll see if Wandy can find his footing again moving forward. He had a tough one today in that 7th inning, giving up a couple of runs in a single inning of work. Let's step aside. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Again, the final score here today, Rockies 9 and the Padres 3, as the Padres do win 2 out of 3 in this 3-game series. They wrap up a 6-3, 9-game road trip to Pittsburgh, New York, and Colorado, but a tough one here on this Sunday to wrap up the trip. We'll hear from the Padre manager when we return on the Padres Radio Network.
Oh, Mrs. Garcia.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue to wrap this one up. Final score, Rockies 9 and the Padres 3. If you want to get a phone call in here on our postgame coverage, you can do that at 833-288-0973. Again, phone number is always 833-288-0973. Military Sunday on the Padres Radio Network is presented by your San Diego Toyota Dealers Association. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, no cost maintenance standard, so you get peace of mind standard. Tough one today for the here for the Padres. Padres again fall by a final score of 9-3. Nick Pivetta went just 4 innings in this game, 6 earned runs given up, 3 in the first inning, 3 more in the third on 7 hits total. Tip of the cap to German Marquez, who came in with nearly a 10 ERA, has had many good outings against the Padres in the past. And here today it was vintage Marquez, gave up the early run in the first inning, but then settled down in a major way. 17 in a row retired, from a 2-out single in the first inning to a 1-out single in the 7th inning. He went 7 strong innings, just 3 hits given up, only struck out 2 and threw only 78 pitches, but he was very, very good in this game. Picks up his first win of the season. Again, Padres bullpen up and down, Matsui and Jacob. Couple of scoreless innings. Wandy Peralta giving up 2 runs in the 8th inning. Sean Reynolds giving up a home run in the 9th inning. And again, the Padres, who scored 13 runs on Friday, 21 runs on Saturday. They get just 3 runs on 5 hits here today. Padres go 6-3 on this 9-game trip, and now they come back home to Petco Park to begin a 6-game homestand and a 3-game series against the Angels tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Let's go back to Coors Field in Colorado. And again, before we get to Mike Shildt, just on managerial news items here. Again, big news after today's game on the Rockies front. They have fired Bud Black, their longtime manager, and obviously Bud Black also a former Padre manager. So Bud Black relieved of his duties in the manager's seat for a 7-33 Rockies team even after today's win. Let's go back to Coors Field in Denver and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
We catch the ball well. We good at bats in the first. Toddy busting his tail down the line. He moves him over after he reads the ball in the dirt. And he, nice situation with him, gets him in. They're up 1-0, and they're trying to, man. So with some good swings, they were more aggressive a little bit earlier, with Nick, and they put some swings on him, and they were able to get the lead, and we just weren't able to scratch back.
What did you think of Nick today? Sometimes it looked like he was sharp.
First of all, happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What did you think of Nick?
Listen, he was, like you said, got on his heels a little bit early, like Nick does. He competes really well. I thought the breaking ball, the sweeper was good. He attacked. He just, gotten some counts that, again, they got him early and a little bit over the middle. And other than that, I think he did the ball well, and he was, some longer innings. So after 4, felt like, he could have gone out for the 5th, but thought that was enough. Based on the amount of work through 4. So he'll be ready to go next time.
Marquez has really struggled since he's come back, but this is a guy who knows how to pitch here. I just wonder if this was similar to what you have seen from him in past years.
Yeah, he's got a nice arm. He pitches off his fastball. He's got a nice live arm, and he was able to make pitches when he had to, and just couldn't quite get the momentum going, but I thought he threw the ball very well. He does know how to pitch here.
6-3 road trips, still anything to sniff at? And it felt like it was maybe a month long. What'd you come away with?
Yeah, I think that's good. So I want to bring up, good road trip overall. 6-3 on the road, absolutely. That's good baseball. And it was a longer trip, 11-day trip. And the one thing about it is not until recently you just brought it up, and, there wasn't any – yeah, everybody's ready to get back to Petco Park and our fans in San Diego. There's no question about that. My point is, there was not any oh man, long road trip. We just go play. We showed up today, ready to get after it, ready to play, and one thing was really, really worth mentioning as well was the Friar faithful on the road. You know, we draw so well at home, and it's passionate, but man, it's nice to go on the road and have that much support. Really, regardless of where we go in the country, we're going to get a good contingent of Padre fans, and it means a lot to us. We're really grateful for that support.
What is Jackson's status?
We'll find out more later. You know, woke up this morning, you know, just wasn't able to keep anything down. Went back to bed, woke up again, couldn't even keep anything down. Did it a third time. So, you know, we're being precautious. We're not sure if it's something that's viral or it's more food related. But he's gotten some IVs. He's feeling better. And we're just going to evaluate him, you know, later tonight and tomorrow.
What's it do for you? Yuki has been on a real tear.
Yep.
Fork seems to be working well. What are
Yep.
you seeing from him?
Yeah, you got it. Fork's good. Fastball's good. He's been able to get that life with his four-seamer. You know, it's got some carry to it. The fork, it's got a nice speed differential. It's got nice. It looks like a strike out of the hand. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's right under. And it's just got. He's got the north-south game going. He's throwing the ball very well.
Is there anything you can share about Darvish?
Nothing overly. You know, we're going to figure out the bullpen, and then the next after that, I texted with Darvish earlier today. He says he feels really good. We're going to catch up tomorrow about his plan, and but that's encouraging that he feels good and he's ready to take the next steps.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 9-3 loss in Colorado today. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios. Again, Jackson Merrill was scratched due to an illness earlier today, so you certainly hope that Jackson is feeling better by tomorrow and can be back in the lineup. So it sounds like he was pretty sick earlier today, so hopefully he's feeling better later today and can be back in the lineup back in San Diego tomorrow. You heard a question there about Yu Darvish at the end. Darvish, as we know, earlier this week threw in another simulated game in Arizona at the Padres spring training complex, and it sounded like maybe a possibility that you could make a rehab start at some point this week. So we'll see what the plan is here moving forward. I would assume we'll know more about that in the next day or two with Yu Darvish. But again, the good news, all the reports, including there for Mike Shildt, have been very good about Yu Darvish and how he's recovered since throwing that simulated game. As again, the Padres fall 9-3. They drop this series finale in Colorado. When we come back, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game. We'll also preview the upcoming homestand starting tomorrow at Petco Park. If you want to squeeze a phone call in, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call. Again, phone number 833-288-0973. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after these messages. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as the Padres fall 9-3 on this Sunday, this series finale in Colorado. Padres do go 6-3 on this 9-game road trip to Pittsburgh Yankee Stadium and Colorado, and now they come home to face the Angels for the start of a 6-game homestand tomorrow evening. We'll preview the homestand coming up in just a little bit. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have a foursome of games going on right now. Yankees ahead of the A's 12-2 in Sacramento in the 7th inning. Orioles lead the Angels 7-2 in Anaheim in the 7th. Dodgers ahead of the Diamondbacks 4-0, 7th inning in Arizona. Blue Jays lead the Mariners 9-1 in the 7th in Seattle. Final scores today: Mets beat the Cubs 6-2 in New York. Francisco Lindor go-ahead home run in that game for the Mets in the 8th inning. Pirates beat the Braves 4-3 in Pittsburgh. The Pirates, who also fired their manager this week, so the Rockies become the second team to do that this week, firing Bud Black after today's game, in case you missed it. But a run in the bottom half of the 9th inning for the Pirates on what was a fielder's choice off the bat of Joey Bart. They win that game 4-3 against Atlanta. Cardinals beat the Nationals 6-1 in D.C. Lars Nootbaar hit a leadoff home run in that one for St. Louis. Brewers beat the Rays 4-2 in Tampa Bay. Christian Yelich and William Contreras went deep in that one for the Brew Crew. Rangers beat the Tigers 6-1 in Detroit. Josh Young, a home run in that game for the Rangers. Red Sox beat the Royals 3-1 in Kansas City. Rafael Devers, a home run in that game for the Sox. Astros beat the Reds 6-0 in Houston. White Sox beat the Marlins 4-2 in Chicago. Tim Elko, a 3-run home run in that game for the White Sox. Twins beat the Giants 7-6 in 10 innings in Minnesota, as the Twins won it in walk-off fashion on an RBI single in the bottom half of the 10th inning. We have one game yet to begin. That is the Phillies and the Guardians in Cleveland at 4 p.m. Luis Ortiz on the mound for Cleveland. Zach Wheeler on the mound for Philadelphia. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. Tough one for the Padres today. They fall 9-3 in Colorado. Let's hear today's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
The 8th today, swings at the first pitch, hammers it deep to left field on a line, and this one going to go. 3-run homer for Hunter Goodman, his 6th of the year. And the Rockies go in front for the first time this weekend. It's 3-1.
Our play of the game, the Hunter Goodman 3-run home run in the bottom half of the first inning, gave the Rockies a 3-1 lead. They would go on to score 3 more in the third to make it 6-1. Big day for Goodman. He had 3 hits, a single shot of the cycle, 5 RBIs in this 9-3 win for Colorado. So as always, gives us no great pleasure to be handing out our play of the game to a 7-33 Rockies team, but kind of felt that way today. That Goodman home run put the Rockies ahead for good. So that is today's play of the game. Taking a look ahead at what's coming up for the Padres, the start of a 6-game homestand tomorrow at Petco Park. A lot of good stuff on the homestand. 3 games against the Angels tomorrow through Wednesday, and off day Thursday. 3 games against the Seattle Mariners Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is the reversible retro bucket hat giveaway on Wednesday, and if you haven't seen that item, it really is very, very cool. It's got 2 sides to it. It's reversible, as I said. One side is 1984 themed. The other side is 1998 themed. It's really, really a cool item. So they give that away on Wednesday, 6:40 p.m. First pitch on Wednesday. Friday, of course, party at the park. Kids Fest on Sunday. Plenty of other good stuff going on during this homestand. And as always, you can get your tickets at Padres.com/tickets as the Padres come back home after a long 9-game road trip to start that 6-game homestand tomorrow against the Angels. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. On the baseball side of things, tomorrow, the first game of a 3-game series against the Angels. First pitch tomorrow at 6:40 p.m. Our Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show will begin at 5:40. Pitching matchup tomorrow, Michael King on the mound for the Padres and left-hander Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for the Angels. So a good pitching matchup tomorrow in the opener of that 3-game set. Taking a look at the final totals in this series finale in Colorado, as again, in case you're just hopping in the car, just joining us, big news after the game, the Rockies firing their manager, Bud Black. And Bud Black, of course, former manager of the Padres as well. Final totals today for the Rockies, 9 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. They left on 7. For the Padres, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left on 4. Winning pitcher, German Marquez, who improves to 1-6. Losing pitcher, Nick Pivetta, who drops to 5-2. Time of game, 2 hours and 13 minutes. And the crowd at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, 34,422. Once again, first pitch tomorrow back at home at Petco Park at 6:40 p.m. Our pregame coverage from inside the Western Metal Building begins at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Bobby Sharton, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long from inside our San Diego studios. Again, the final score here today, the Colorado Rockies 9 and the San Diego Padres 3. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thanks for joining us